Welcome back to the fifth and final Swiss round of the TNE here in the Saturday afternoon. In this round, we are viewing two players, both on the cusp of winning into the top eight, and they're both on, one of everyone's favorite decks, Combre Relics, Combre Equalize, Combre Control, call it what you will. We all know what this deck does. Tries to play a bunch of ramp and play a bunch of sweepers to completely out-resource the opponent and late game just crush them by going over the top with far more expensive cards like Stormhawk Plating, like a double amplified Builder's Decree, like Diana's Ultimate, and so on and so forth. And we're ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get right in game, see how they're see what their mulligan decisions are. Johnkkez. I'd imagine you might want to mull this. Actually, no, you have a ton of power. I'm sorry. I just saw two powers and thought that was it. But you have Pillar of Progress. You have Enter the Monastery after that. If absolutely necessary, you can play this plating. But you're probably not going to do that unless you draw something else to do. Meanwhile, newershadow. Kind of a bit more of a dirtly hand. I mean, this Desert Marshal's not going to do much on its own, but you can ramp into a dino pretty quick and put on a bit of pressure.
No, I mean, both these hands are solid. In Johnkkez case, it's turned two Pillar of Progress into hopefully a third power, undepleted power for the New Beginning or Enter the Monastery, while newershadow has a wonderful hand of turn two Pillar of Progress, turn three Furious Magniventress, and the way I've seen the decisions for opening hands described is the 3-turn plan that do you have something to do for the first 3 turns of the game? And both these players do, so they should both be happy keeping their hands.
Absolutely. Like you said, these are not decks that are looking to do a lot in the first few turns. It's all about setting up, especially if you're in a mirror match like this. You're not in any hurry to put on pressure.
No. Both these decks have a bunch of different ways to just relieve slow one card at a time pressure. So both players just kind of just dirtling around, but the
fun part of dirtling around is you're ramping and then you get to do all kinds of really big fun Johnny things.
Right. So johnkkez misses on the undepleted 4th power, has to inscribe the Stormhawk Plating. Out comes a New Beginning. What is the draw? The draw is another power card, so the New Beginning comes back to the hand. But this means 2 whacks from a 6 attack Magniventress, and out comes a Gird of Stranger as well. This is going to force out the Shenra Speaks next turn.
Yeah, this is a lot of pressure. You can't really let this go unanswered. And meanwhile, newershadow can just follow that up with another Grodov.
Another Gird of Stranger, or even the Speaking Circle, because, hey, sight on an empty board gets a free tick. And then, of course, it's a race, but for board presence, but instead just opts to go with the second Gird of Stranger, and yeah, johnkkez has to essentially play out that 4-cost, Enter the Monastery into a New Beginning.
Yeah, but while it's scary seeing the 6-cost Stranger across the way from you, you just put a ton of power into play.
Absolutely.
And you're going to be able to double amplify your spells soon and make some giant sentinels.
Yeah, that Builder's Decree is absolutely coming down next turn. 9 life, not a fun place to be in against a deck that can just... Ooh, what? Oh, wow, I think that's just game.
Oh, wow, play your own... Look at that top deck. What timing. The Gird of
Stranger top decking a Builder's Decree that's going to lock out these other Builder's Decrees, I have to imagine.
Yep, it's kind of too late to do anything in the market. By the time you pay 6 costs to go and grab something, you're not going to have enough left over to do anything else. Play a Speaking Circle, and roll the dice.
Yeah, Speaking Circle has to hit either Equalize or Pristine Light. Otherwise, that's just going. Whoa!
Playing. Okay.
So double ambush Pride Leader
Yep.
takes. That's going to put johnkkez at 16 life. Can't even double block the Grove of Stranger.
You're just biding some time. This is a much safer plan than the speaking circle roll, right? This is the correct line. I was just wanted to see the cool die roll work out. Yeah. Buying yourself a turn. Those builders' decrees, will they still be locked next turn, or will they unlock? Okay.
They're locked. So yeah, in the words of some of these,
Royal decree.
oh my gosh, royal decree off of the speaking circle. Well, goodbye to your royal decrees.
What were we saying about these being like slow, dirtily games? This is pretty quick. This is almost an aggro start. Like,
Oh
the amount
wow,
of time it's
opts
taking.
not to go with the royal decree. Well, yeah, why go with the royal decree? The builders' decrees are still locked for another turn. Now
Absolutely.
this forces the speaking circle.
Now you have
and it
that
absolutely
that
must
plating in
roll.
hand.
Oh, then the game's just over.
Yeah, I forgot that Chemo's Blueprints was a card. I don't think I've ever seen it played before. And so yeah, it tutors for a weapon and buffs it since an onslaught trigger was activated. So that just made an even bigger plating. So it just had all kinds of angles to win with.
Right.
Okay, yeah, we'll get back in the booth pretty soon. Hey, folks. Here we go. Let's jump back into the game. newershadow v johnkkez. Both these players are 3-1 in the tournament right now, so this is basically a win-in for guaranteeing a spot in the top 8. Can newershadow pulled this off in 2 games? There's a whole bunch of ramp. Okay, there's something to ramp into. You could get rid of these coveted gemstones to grab something from the market, but ideally you do that a bit later while you have a bunch of power spare, right?
Right. Yeah. Turn 2 pillar, turn 3 gemstone, turn 4 Grove of Stranger, ramp into ramp into ramp. You're newershadow, you're just so happy.
Mm.
Also, this equalize, if it comes out, yeah, that would have been a really bad thing for johnkkez because of the forced discard.
Yep.
So, okay, Grove of Stranger, ramped, and still a 6/6. Might as well just crack it in, because why not?
Mm-hmm.
Not enough power to crack the gemstone for a Sword of Unity. And
I don't think you're in any hurry to, though. Why not
No,
play another
definitely
gemstone, ramp more, play your cat at the end of turn, make it
right.
If your opponent happens to have an equalize, make it even worse for them.
Definitely. Okay, so rolling the speaking circle instead of Shenra speaks against this blank Grove of Stranger. Have to play one of these cards that make units. This is going to force out the Pride Leader. We're going to see a double chump into...
Into a board wipe on the other side, likely. Or
except, oops.
This gives Overwhelm.
Yep, Overwhelm and double Aegis to protect against the incoming board wipes, barring the equalize. This speaking circle is going to go down.
Yeah, well, there is another one to follow up, and this equalize is looking a whole lot better now that it can get rid of those units with Aegis. So you're
Right.
probably okay pitching a pair of Shenra Speaks and keeping your speaking circle as gas to follow up. I mean, you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the speaking circle did not go down. What did I miss?
Yeah, so Newer Shadow just went face.
Oh, okay. All right, folks.
Whoa. So
Okay.
johnkkez electing to keep a Shenra Speaks in hand instead of a second speaking circle in hand. Interesting. Newer Shadow instead going for the Grota's Burden to try and,
Mm.
draw out of this situation.
Yeah, you have
Because
all this
they
power. Gives you something to do with it. The for those who don't know, Grotto's Burden lets you pay 6 to draw a card, and you can do that multiple times per turn. If it's a single faction unit, like another Grodov Stranger, it just gets played for free.
But instead, Newer Shadow is going to cast a New Beginning, draws a power, so draws a second copy of a New Beginning. And so we'll pay 8 to play 2 power and draw 2 more cards.
Mm. Well, at this point, the Queen of Glass, it was inevitable, so just wait for it to come out and
Yeah, wipe.
get rid of it. I did not opt to use the silence there first, correct? So you could have
Right.
gotten rid of the 1/1, although it's not
Yeah,
really worth the
yeah,
power.
not really worth the power win.
Uh,
You're behind 7 to 13.
Unfortunately, that Pride Leader coming down and taking care of that Grodov's Burden, so there goes your route to claw back from this.
Yeah, I mean, Newer Shadow is still at a very comfortable 33 life and 14 power. They're just going to
Absolutely.
be top decking all sorts of haymakers at this point. So out
Diana
comes
is
Deanna. Not a bad pickup, but just cantrips into another New Beginning. This Desert Marshal is going to come out because why not? Or wall off the 1/1. Uh, Shenra Speaks is the pickup for the turn for Newer Shadow. I don't think they're in any hurry to burn it. Ambushing the Pride Leader can take care of the enemy Pride Leader, and okay, Builder's Decree, the pickup for the draw for the turn for johnkkez.
that is a spicy card to have in your back pocket. Like right now, they're both just kind of grinding away units at each other, but not really doing anything big. Those giant sentinels will help. I bet you wait until you hit 9 power so that you can double amplify.
Right. But
Let's see
instead,
what rolls here off the speaking circle.
yep, johnkkez lets the Pride Leader take care of the empty speaking circle, just for Newer Shadow to say, hey, coast is clear from my own speaking circle. So again, Newer Shadow in the tank on the go grab yourself a sandwich phase of speaking circle. Okay, Song of War, not too bad for an amplify. I mean, amplify that 7 times, and oh my gosh, that's a lot of war cries.
Well, you got a removal spell.
Yep.
Fever Dispute, one of the new cards from the recent set. Deal 5 damage to unit is one of its mode, but it has to be a non-dinosaur unit, which is not a problem in this matchup.
Yep. Neither player's playing dinosaurs.
Okay. Going for that 1/9/9. Locking the Desert Marshal and deciding to eat the board wipe.
Okay, so this decree is going to, at some point, it's going to force out the Shenra Speaks. Kind of a waste of a Builder's Decree, I think.
You get to put on pressure. I think I would have liked locking the Shenra Speaks just to make sure, but johnkkez.
Ooh, that's why. We're going for the Sword of Unity.
Okay. Heads up play there. Oh, not even
Nope.
going for the sword. Going for the burden.
Right, yeah. But now, Deanna for Newer Shadow, threatening the ultimate. Is
Plus
that
22,
lethal?
plus 22. And you only need 12 to use it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that Diana's threatening lethal.
Well, that johnkkez at least has some board wipes of their own, but Newer Shadow just drew their own builder decree, opted not to play it. Could have done that and attempted to lock an answer. Had the Shenron Speaks been locked, the relic weapon was one power shy of playing its own harsh rule,
Right.
and the equalize would not have been able to kill the unit.
Yep. So, back to Newer Shadow. Just wipes the board here. And just deploys a Magna Ventress. The question is, what will that force out? So
Will deal a little bit of damage, but johnkkez wants to catch up in that having power and access to do a bunch of things.
Right.
I'm willing to take a turn, taking at least 8 damage here.
Yeah.
Assuming you don't kill this, I don't know about throwing away like a Shenron Speaks or something. No. Okay, draw a card. Oh, wow. And get a free unit.
Play a card.
Perfect.
Okay, so back to Newer Shadow. If that Builder's Decree comes out, oh, and it does, it's going to see, hey, my opponent has every number of board wipe. You know, every single board wipe option in the deck, so it doesn't matter what you lock out. Whatever you don't lock out is just going to blow the board up. Not often you see 3 15/15s just be absolutely ineffectual, but that's the story that this turn. We're going to see this Age-worn Vestige come out and just mop up the board, leaving johnkkez, with a relic weapon with some amount of attack. I'm not sure if there is a Pillar of Progress. I think there is. Nope. That got eaten by a Pride Leader, so it's just going to be this annoying 3 health, 3 attack relic weapon. Just calmly, just steadily chipping away at whatever armor Newer Shadow has. Pillar of Progress, the pickup for the turn. And now johnkkez firmly in the driver's seat with the active Grotto's Burden. Okay, whack away the armor. This Desert Marshal in hand is doing nothing. A New Beginning is probably not going to pick up raw power. And yeah. Oh, wow. So A New Beginning couldn't even play power from the deck. So, yeah, Newer Shadow just cantrips Pillar of Progress, while this Grotto's Burden top decks yet another Pride Leader. So Newer Shadow is just sitting here dirtling. Well, johnkkez is just, hey, if you don't deal with my board, I'm going to smack you. And if you do deal with my board, I'm just going to keep drawing cards until I have more pressure. It's not often you see a Cambrai Relics deck reach 17, make that 18 power, and just be completely out of options, but there you have it. Okay, Humbug Nest. Omri's Choice. And for the third pick, is that no, it's not Abduct. I forget what that shadow card is. But okay, here come 2 Flying Humbugs. Buffed up by the Grotto's Burden. In comes 8 damage. And now Newer Shadow is empty-handed, staring down lethal, and top decks exactly what they need, which is a board wipe. It's not the Equalize, though, which would have... Still wouldn't have equalized this game, but... Okay, here's what I think, top deck Builder's Decree. Here's a pair of 12/12s. You're at 9. Okay. Speaking Circle. Does this hit Equalize? or does this hit pristine light? Ooh, a Builder's Decree for 3 Sentinels. Okay, we are locking out Shenra Speaks. And both of these speaking circles trade off. And so now, johnkkez is actually a bit behind.
That's just how these games go, right? You have all the power in the world and you have all the cool toys to play with. Just goes back and forth. See what newershadow still has in the market. Age-worn Vestige. Can go grab that, harsh rule the board away, and keep the train going.
Cannot get the age-worn. Oh yeah, can get the age-worn Vestige.
Doesn't need it right now, but that's a good thing to have in the back pocket. The other options being Stormhalt Knife and Adjudicator's Gavel, which aren't particularly relevant right now. Oh wow, that's actually never mind. I spoke too soon. I forgot about the Grodov's Burden. That is a huge flyer.
Yep, so now newershadow is forced to wipe out their own trio of 18 18s. Oh my gosh.
But it lets you survive. You got to do...
you do what you got to do.
Keeps the game going. Yep.
So, Diana into a 4-attack relic weapon. I am not sure I agree with this. Except, Christmas comes early. Top decks Stormhalt Plating, which is going to wipe out this age-worn Vestige. And that's going to be all she wrote, because not even a huge amount of Sentinels is going to prevent this Diana from ultimating next turn.
Okay. Well, that will lock up the match at 1-1. And...
No, I think newershadow won game 1.
Yes. Right? johnkkez just won, so that's a 1-1 match, and we have our game 3. Actually, the last match standing... let's see how who can get in to the top 8. You're right back.
Okay.
Swapping positions, we're going to watch jonnkkz's side of this match.
So once again, both players essentially they're happy with johnkkz. Perfect power development into Diana. And newershadow turn 2 pillar into turn 3 new beginning. In the mirror, that makes you happy as a clam, as a Combrade player. So yeah, johnkkz is going to answer a new beginning with their own new beginning. And so now what?
The old,
I guess we're trading circle for circle. Or
gonna play out a threat. Okay.
Yeah, play at the Magnet Ventress. Out comes a Desert Marshal. That's going to limit the pain this dinosaur can do. And of course, more ramp with a new beginning, which happens to draw a power. So another new beginning. These beginnings aren't as new as we'd like to believe.
Old beginnings, especially by the time you get to game 3.
Yep. The beginnings have definitely gotten old.
This is a favorite matchup for our viewers. We'll there will be one of these decks going into the top 8 at least. So
bonk, 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 bonk.
It's a palate cleanser, right? We've seen some combo decks, we've seen some aggro decks. Now we need to see some slow decks.
Yep. So both of those new beginnings go off without drawing additional power, and out comes a Builder's Decree for a pair of 9/9s. Luckily, this Magnum Ventress is going to stun one of them. So, johnkkez is going to actually deploy. Ooh, a Speaking Circle hits a mirror image, stunning both of these Sentinels and making these Magnum Ventresses.
Is that the one where you could time walk?
Yes.
3, draw a card. If there are 10 or more units in your void, put 10 of them at random into your deck and take an additional turn. That is not a card that sees a lot of play. And
of course, top deck for johnkkez, or rather, newer Shadow, is Stormhawk Plating, which will wipe out both of the Magnum Ventresses. Magnum Ventri? Allowing newer Shadow's Dinosaur to wipe out Speaking Circle number 1. Let's do Speaking Circle number 2 rolls. Chemical rounds, strategize, nothing and nothing.
You really need the Speaking Circle unlocked, or sorry, Shenra Speaks unlocked. That's under a ton of pressure from both units and a double attack relic weapon.
Gets Inferno Dance, which essentially keeps johnkkez alive, I think. Yeah, this will chump block one of the Sentinels, except look at newer Shadow's hand. Another 2 more Builder's Decrees. This Shenra Speaks is never coming out. Oh hey, look at this lethal board. Okay. Whoa! Okay, yeah, the strategist comes out from the site, does not pick up a board wipe. Diana comes out and picks up a board wipe.
Wow, what a top deck.
Well, that's what these Combre decks do. They top deck you into the abyss.
And you have just enough attack to take out that plating and not get a crackback. Right.
So now we're going to most likely see yet another Builder's Decree come out for a pair of 10/10s. And once again, lock up the Shenra Speaks.
Yeah, that would put johnkkez still in a bit of a top deck mode. Speaking Circle, okay. Speaking Circle will take care of the other Speaking Circle,
and then die itself. Right. I mean...
But that means, you don't have to worry about that Queen of Glass down the line. You can... You're no rush to lock that Shenra Speaks until you have units of your own. You're not really under any threat to your life total particularly yet.
Right. Okay, that card does not affect this board. Do we see some sort of 3 damage spell? I think Opum's Technique was that?
Oh. Haunting Scream?
Okay, what are we screaming back?
Something that'll kill your opponent's Speaking Circle, probably.
A 9/9 Sentinel. What are we going after? Well, okay, go after the enemy site to keep yours. Okay, Sentinel's gonna bite the dust.
You get to a free roll at a random Sentinel next turn, likely. That Magnum Ventress just has just enough butt to block this relic weapon from johnkkez, so things are looking pretty good for newer Shadow.
And newer Shadow, 3rd Decree. Draw a random Sentinel. What's the random Sentinel?
Just a giant vanilla one, I believe. I think that's the Pledge 8/8.
Hey, not bad.
Yeah. I mean, it does the job, right? At this point of the game, it costs 8. You have plenty of power. That doesn't matter to you.
Big dumb.
Add it to your Sentinel collection.
Yep. Big dumb beater. Okay, 3rd Decree. Okay, Diana can ultimate immediately. Or we can play the Age 1 Vestige.
I like ultimating Diana just so that you don't lose her to a relic weapon attack.
Right.
You cannot be that you won't lose it to a plating, which means, in theory, you can. I mean, this isn't enough attack to close the game in one turn, but okay.
And with the Desert Marshal, it means Diana's not getting through for face damage anytime soon. The metal is going to be utterly irrelevant because there's a 24-26 Diana on board, so 11-11s look kind of small in comparison.
Meanwhile, though, that Queen of Glass about to come out. So if johnkkez is going to wipe all these other units off the board, you might need to, right? This 24-26 is not going to do much against a board full of cards that cannot die.
Right. Yeah, johnkkez up against the speaking circle timer. I mean, if the... And uh-oh. That coveted gemstone is going in for a sort of unity, I think. Does johnkkez put his own sort of unity on this Diana? I don't think Martyr's Chains is the grab. There's no power here.
It can gain a bunch of life. It can attack. I don't know.
So a 27-29 Diana. How much attack is actually on this board? 22, 25, 27? A sort of unity on this Diana headed towards the speaking circle would put newershadow in a bind, but instead, johnkkez just elects to wipe the board before the Queen of Glass hits.
Yeah. This Shenra Speaks is coming out, or rather being unlocked, so even if newershadow plays a few things, you're probably feeling pretty safe, and then you can use the gemstone to grab something else.
Right. But we're going to go into the market and grab Grodov's Burden, bottoming the Age-Worn Vestige. Shoo, get out of there. Essentially, deal 9 damage. Okay, Shenra Speaks coming out to deal with this Queen of Glass. Pillar of Progress comes out. And then Coveted Gemstone.
Interestingly, could have used the johnkkez as an alternative route, could have used their own Coveted Gemstone, grab their own Grodov's Burden, and bottom the other Grodov's Burden before it could get out of hand.
This is true. Okay, another Shenra Speaks. Wipes the board, especially because this Diana is threatening to end the game, essentially. And I do wonder what johnkkez is holding onto this Coveted Gemstone for. I guess they're afraid of, getting it picked off by a Pride leader or some such. Oh, hey, the Stormhawk plating cannot take out the big dumb Sentinel.
And even if you take out the Magna Ventress, the big dumb Sentinel gets even bigger and dumber and gains endurance.
Right. Yeah, there's a Grodov's Burden on the other side.
That's the sticky part right now. johnkkez without their own Grodov's Burden means that newershadow is just doing multiple things a turn with all that power.
Right.
So I guess you do this, you eat the damage, you lose your unit, and then you could Grodov's Burden the other one away?
I mean, you have to Grodov's Burden this 13-15 away first.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, you're pricing to using it on the unit rather than the other
enemy burden. Right. Yeah, that big dumb Sentinel is lethal. Or rather, threatening lethal, so... Yeah, johnkkez only has one option this turn, so... Hey, make sure you don't die. Okay, now draw a card because you only have power in hand. Which draws another power, okay.
It's unfortunate, but you bought yourself a turn.
So now, once again, we're in a holding pattern. Diana coming out. Threatening lethal. And... johnkkez is going to have essentially 2 to 3 looks at a board wipe. And he gets on the first draw. Gotta get rid of this Diana. Okay, draw your own Diana. Don't play her because you don't want her getting killed for nothing. Okay, Growth of Stranger. Exalted Growth of Stranger comes out for Newer Shadow. Followed with another draw off this Growth's Burden, which gets nothing. So just drop the Pillar of Progress, drop a power. After all, there's the there's the Equalize in Newer Shadow's hand, so just get yourself as empty-handed as possible, because why not? And pass the turn because you're out of options. And oh wow, Pride Leader, the pickup here, is going to deal with the enemy burden. So there's the loss of Exalted from Newer Shadow's Growth of Stranger. And a pickup of a Builder's Decree for johnkkez is going to slam a pair of 1919s on this board. No, I'm sorry, they're 2020s because of the Growth's Burden. So Equalize will still leave
one giant unit.
Yeah. So
yeah, you need a chump attack, try to bait a block. Johnkkez probably not going to buy that.
No, we're definitely not buying it. And once again, Direwolf, please, animations. Yep, not killing the Growth Stranger, but also just throwing away the Pride Leader.
Able to fetch the board wipe.
Out comes a top-decked board wipe. And oh, a speaking circle that already has an agenda picked up. Okay, Diana's gonna come out. Can't ultimate her, I think, because if you're johnkkez, you have to realize there are equalizes in the opponent's hand at this point in the game. So oh no. johnkkez casts Enter the Monastery and gets no Justice Sigils.
Ooh. Not exactly what you want to do. Oh, it gets the okay, I didn't realize that. So it keeps the agenda that it had previously?
Okay. This is very close to lethal, though. This is an Equalize into Stormbolt plating. Take 6. There's a pillar, I think, so.
Oh. Right.
Wipe out both Dianas. Slap for 16. And out comes. Yeah, new beginning, bottom. Only one card to play here. Builder's Decree for all the amplifies, and that's just enter the scoop phase. 2 different board wipes.
Well, johnkkez put up a
Oh,
huge fight there.
Yep.
I felt like for most of that match, Newer Shadow was on kind of the upper foot, but it was back and forth. A number of times it could have just the right draw. You could have came back and pulled it out. Yep. So Newer Shadow guaranteed into the top 8.
After that back and forth slugfest.
That was very much our last match in in the round. So we will come back very soon with your top 8. I believe we are going to try to swap in a different caster for the top 8. Before we go, just wanted to thank everybody for watching. And if you have been enjoying these TNEs and would like to get in on the show, we're looking for casters, we're looking for TOs, looking for Twitch mods, and even translators once we get a setup for our rules to expand it. We have an international community here in Eternal, right? So we want to help make it easier for people to participate where they can. So come by the TNE Discord, say hi, and if you're interested in helping out, let us know.